or can Spurs mount another challenge this time around? And joining me in the studio, filled with excitement ahead of the draw, Michael Owen, Glenn Hoddle and Jermaine Genus. Glenn, we said last season it was wide open. Same again this season?
I think so. No one could read last season, could they? It was amazing, so exciting, so many twists and turns. You get that feeling it's going to... Whether we can eclipse that, I'm not so sure, but I think it's an open race, I really do. There's some strong teams there, but anyone can win this. We had some brilliant moments last season, didn't we? Liverpool's comeback against Barcelona, Spurs likewise against Ajax, Man United beating PSG, and then the VAR drama with City and Tottenham. It continues to deliver, this competition, doesn't it?
Definitely. I think, I think the factor of the English clubs really catching up, I suppose, with the Spanish dominance of the European competition for so long helped the competition in a way. You have the kind of teams like Ajax, the surprise package within the competition as well. So look, I'm expecting more of the same. It's been a brilliant competition for a good couple of years now, and it's only getting better. Well,
I think it's time we speak to the Oracle, because 2018, Michael picked Real Madrid to win when they were 7-1. Last season, you tipped Liverpool, who was 16-1 at the time. Who's it going to be? Are you going for the hat-trick?
I wish I had money on them both, because I didn't. I can assure you of that. Well, if you put me on the spot, I'm going to go for City this year, I think. Yeah. Much to the... well, I'm not sure whether you guys agree with me, but I think City, I think it's their time.
Tell me why.
Well, I think they've been building towards it for a long, long time. It's certainly their priority. Of course, the Premier League and the Champions League are everybody's priority. But I think, in particular, City now, they're desperate for that. Liverpool are desperate for the Premier League. I think City... are desperate for the Champions League. And I just think that when you watch them now, they're almost becoming a team that you struggle to see them getting beat. They've got experience with their manager. They've got experience, more and more of it now with their team. And I just think it's their season.
We'll talk more about City's chances in a bit, but let's take a look at the 32 teams then we'll be spending the next few months with. Pot 1 boasts both Liverpool and Chelsea, the respective holders of the Champions and Europa League titles, plus the domestic champions in each of UEFA's top 6 ranked leagues. Manchester City make it a third English side alongside Barca, Juve, Bayern, PSG and Zenit. Pot 2 then is where you'll find Tottenham, along with more European heavyweights, both Madrid clubs, Dortmund and Napoli. Pot 3 sees Lyon, who Manchester City failed to beat in 2 attempts last season, alongside Valencia and Antonio Conte's Inter, who now boast Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez in their ranks. Whilst in Pot 4, you'll find Red Star Belgrade, who beat Liverpool last season at home, and Atalanta, the Italian side, the only Champions League debutants in this season's group stage draw. So one side from each pot will make up the 8 groups, and you can't be drawn alongside a club from the same country. So they're the 32 sides involved. Let's head over to Emma Dodds now at the Grimaldi Forum in Monaco, and she can tell us what else we can look forward to this evening besides the draw for the Champions League group stage. Emma.
Thanks, Lindsay. Well, as you've outlined, 32 teams are involved in this one this evening. And as you can see behind me, the final preparations taking place ahead of the draw. Last season, we had arguably one of the greatest Champions League tournaments of all time. So the anticipation tonight is really growing as to who will face who in the group stage. As you pointed out, though, it's not only about the draw here in Monaco. There are individual awards up for grabs tonight as well. The UEFA Men's Player of the Year will be contested by Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk. He won man of the match in that final victory over Tottenham. But he is up against 2 players you may have heard of, a certain Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. We also have the Women's UEFA Player of the Year as well, which is contested by 3 Lyon players. Lucy Bronze, who of course represents England and, well, viewed by many as one of the best right-backs in the world. She was the stand-up performer for England, really, in the World Cup over the summer. She finished second to Megan Rapinoe as far as the players of the tournament are concerned, but she is up against Ada Hegerberg, who is a stand-out performer. She scored a hat-trick in just 16 minutes in the final victory over Barcelona. And Amandine Henry, who is another player for Lyon, who picked up her 5th Champions League title last season. We also have individual awards going from goalkeeper through to striker, and we have the President's Award, which is going to be picked up by a certain Eric Cantona. He will be the 3rd former Manchester United player to win it, after Sir Bobby Charlton and, of course, David Beckham.
And fully deserved. Thank you very much, Emma. Lots to look forward to there. So Liverpool then hoping to win this competition for the 7th time. Finalists in 2018, winning it last season. Are they the team to beat, Jermaine?
I still believe they are, yeah. I think when it comes to cup competition, the way that they are set up, they can go to any ground and score vital away goals. And I think what they have over just about everybody in the competition is that defensive, solidity that they can just turn it on at any minute. I think when we look at that semi-final, what they did to Barcelona at Anfield in terms of keeping a clean sheet. People talk about the 4 goals. They kept a clean sheet against one of the most potent attacks in Europe. And that's without even talking about Anfield and that sacred ground and the impossibilities that they keep overcoming at that stadium. They're still right up there as favourites as far as I'm concerned.
You said that as well last season, Michael, the Oracle, that they're unbeatable at Anfield. And that Barcelona game really showed the importance of that, didn't it? Yeah,
I think what Liverpool, and Jermaine just touched on it, what Liverpool have got is that if they go back to Anfield second leg, no matter what, they've not just got belief, they've got history, they've got everything going for them. Look back 20, 30, 40 years and recent times. Magic happens at Anfield, and the best thing that they can do is play away from home in the first leg, because no matter what happens then, they'll come home feeling that they can win. And it was proved last season. You touched on a few of the great games last season. I mean, that was amazing. Just unbelievable. Being there was just one of those moments that you tell your kids in years to come, I was there this night. It was unbelievable, the atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other favourites, Glenn, let's talk about Manchester City. Back-to-back Premier League titles. Do you agree with Michael that this could be their year?
I don't actually, no. Sorry, Michael. But...
That's all right. We've already had an argument over it backstage.
Do you think this is the one they most covet, though?
I think that's the pressure that they're under. I think this is the one the owners want. This is the one that Pep wants. Michael used the word desperate, and I think when you're desperate, you want something so bad, I think the pressure piles on. I think they concede too many goals against European sides. Leon, found them out last year. There's certain games where you think in the Premier League, you think actually you can get at this team, and that's where I think the foreign teams are fancying their chances over 2 legs. They've got a wonderful squad. I think they'll win the Premier League personally, but just that Champions League, I think it's going to be a bridge too far for them.
Do you think that their failure to not get past the quarter-finals under Pep is down to luck or just not being good enough?
It's a toughie because, how they went out was brutal. That last-minute VAR decision, which also was, something that, that VAR kind of controversy really came to light, I suppose, in the latter stages of the competition, the decision at PSG, and then there was so many things that didn't happen early on in the competition that all of a sudden started to really kill teams. And I think they were very unlucky in terms of that. But the fact remains, they conceded 3 goals at home in a quarter-final. You can't do that against any team. And I think that if he does manage to kind of change maybe the style of play when they get into that phase, which I think he's shown at the end of the season he can do that. The amount of 1-0 wins they got in the Premier League and just shut up shop. It's just whether they implement that into the Champions League, and then they've definitely got a chance because it comes to attack. There's not many better.
Since he won his 2nd Champions League title with Barca in 2011, we saw their semi-finals with Bayern Munich, not past the quarter-final with Man City. But will Pep ultimately be judged, his reign at Manchester City, on whether he wins this or not?
I don't think totally, no. Winning the league like he's done, he'll certainly go away with huge amount of credit no matter what. The team that we watch every single week will be his legacy. That team is just one of the best teams we've seen in the Premier League.
Broken.
All these records. So I don't think it'll be a failure if he doesn't win it. However, imagine how he would walk away if he did. He would go down as one of the greats. And I listen to what the lads say there about Manchester City. And do you know what? I almost compare them in a little way to Paris Saint-Germain over the years. I've never, ever fancied them to win this competition for the last sort of 5, 6... Just because their style of play, you can't go at it too gung-ho. I just don't think that... I think City are improving in that way. I think that they can keep clean sheets. And I think, the ease at which they score goals is just devastating, and that's why I fancy them.
Do we think that Pep was really successful at Bayern Munich without winning it?
Because he's expected to win the league every season and the cups as well.
Yeah, that's my point. I think, he hasn't done it at Bayern. He hasn't done it for 8 years, has he?
You think he's losing his touch?
Well, I just think it's one of them sometimes, and I go back to what Michael said, and he's spot on. I think they're desperate. And once you become desperate, everything goes out the window. And there's just, you look at the list there, what happened to him, you know, at Bayern Munich, and what's happened to him with the VAR and all these things. You think, is it going to be his destiny that he's not going to win this cup? He deserves to as a manager.
Maybe this will be the year. We'll soon find out who is in Manchester City's group. England's 4 representatives might not start their challenge until the middle of September, but 53 teams have already been in action. Qualification got underway more than 2 months ago, and over the last 2 nights, 6 clubs came through the playoffs to complete this season's lineup. These are the 6 sides who made it the hard way.
Of Rosenborg. Dinamo Zagreb are back in the Champions League proper. For the cross, go on, it's in! Red Star lead on the night. They've hung on in the end, Red Star. Look what it means. Driven hard and low across to El Arabi. And he's the one firing them into the group stage. Olympiacos, in the end, cruise through. Time to the Jan Borrell. In the Champions League for the first time in more than a decade. He's got the goal here. It will finally see off the challenge. Bruges go through. It's Tadic with a glorious finish, and that's Juppie Ajax through to the group stage.
Just 89 days have passed since Liverpool were crowned champions of Europe for a sixth time. Jurgen Klopp's Reds proved too much for Mauricio Pochettino's Spurs, whose remarkable journey to the final didn't have the fairy tale ending in Madrid. Can Spurs mount another serious challenge this time around? And can it be them lifting the trophy in Istanbul next May? Glenn, is it difficult to see Tottenham repeating that run to the final?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster, wasn't it, last year? Personally, my heart says it'd be lovely for them to go all the way again, but I think it's going to be extremely difficult. They've got to get their domestic scene sorted out. There's the behind the scenes, there's players that are coming to the end of the contract. You just feel there's a little bit of an unbalance. For me as well, a team that in all competitions to lose 20 matches last year, that is too many, full stop per se. So I think it's get your head down and look at the domestic Premier League rather than the Champions League, I feel. But they'll want to go as far as they can. It depends on the draw, really.
And repeat the excitement of last season, one of the best nights in their history. You and Jermaine were both there for that night against Ajax. I think it even brought you to tears, did it, Jermaine?
Yeah, it was an emotional night, I think, for anybody involved in the club. It was completely gone at one point. And then the way it came back in that second half display was just, you know, obviously something that Tottenham fans will never forget. Thankfully, Rio didn't hurt Glenn too much on that particular night. We were a bit worried at one point. But, you know, I think the thing that stands out for me quite a bit when I think about Tottenham's campaign last year is they rode their luck constantly. And you can't do that every single year.
They were almost out in the group stage, weren't they? Came back from the dead, one point after three games.
The group stage, the game against Manchester City was like nearly gone in the last second, and then obviously the game against Ajax. You're not going to get to another final like that again. It was a one-off. So, you know, let's see how they go this year.
Well, let's head back now to the Grimaldi Forum in Monaco, because Emma Dodds is speaking to Petr Cech.
Well, welcome back here to Monte Carlo, where I'm now joined by a man very familiar with our BT Sport viewers, Petr Cech. Petr, welcome to Monaco. You're here to make the draw today, but of course you are the technical and performance advisor for Chelsea Football Club. What are you expecting from the draw today?
Well, we are waiting the draw because obviously it's a big part of the campaign, and you know, nowadays you don't have such a thing like an easy or difficult draw. Obviously, we hope that we will get a draw which will make us go through. That's how it works. But no, we will see. You know, there are some difficult teams, and obviously you can some of them you cannot avoid, and you will always get strong teams. And I think this year as well, in all the pots you will find difficult opponents. So you know, we expect difficult draw anyway.
As the Europa Cup winners, Chelsea go into pot one, but do you feel this is as fiercely contested a Champions League as ever, given the strength of the other pots?
Well, I think, you know, everybody is here to compete. Every year the teams try to improve and obviously go and win it. And I would say it's exciting season again ahead because, as you said, you know, there's a lot of competitive teams in those spots. And I think no group will be a kind of called easy group.
It is a very youthful Chelsea squad, but of course, having won the Europa Cup last season, having won the Super Cup this season, do you believe that this group of youngsters can step up and perform in the Champions League?
Well, we hope. Obviously, it will be a great experience for them and great opportunity for them as well to show how good they are, how much they improved. And we have some experienced players in the team as well, which we hope they're going to help them.
And you know Frank Lampard as well as anybody. He's won this trophy as a player. How do you feel he's going to cope with it in management, and can he replicate that?
Well, we hope. Obviously, he's a young manager with a lot of potential and quality already. That's why we, you know, the club signed him to be the manager for Chelsea Football Club. And obviously, we hope that the club will have a successful season as in the league as same as in the Champions League.
And you've retired from playing. Are you enjoying the new role?
I am. It's a completely new role for me, but you know, I need to find out how to survive the games on the stand, because this is something new for me, and I'm kind of finding it harder than I thought.
Thank you very much, Petr. Well, the draw gets underway at 6 p.m. here in Central European time, which is 5 p.m. back for you guys in the UK.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah, just over 5 minutes to go before the draw. Chelsea in pot one as well, Michael, as a result of winning the Europa League, which should give them an easier ride in the group stage.
In theory, Chelsea are good at qualifying out the group stage. I think Frank Lampard will be delighted to be, in the Champions League in his first big job, let's say. And you know what? They've got some really good players. Of course, Hazard leaving is going to hurt them, especially at this level and the latter stages of this level. But Tottenham showed last season that you don't have to be, the absolute favourites. Ajax showed last season that you don't have to be the favourites to actually have a great competition. So I think Frank Lampard will be really looking forward to pitting his wits against the big boys.
Do they have the players that can mount a challenge, Glenn, this season?
In the Champions League, no. Not for me. They haven't got the experience. I think Frank will enjoy getting... If they get to the quarter-finals, last 16 quarter-finals, that would be an absolute fantastic season in the Champions League. I think that for Frank now, the Premier League, the domestic league, they've got to get themselves consistent in there. And to have... I don't think they've got the squad to play on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and then go and play Saturday Premier League. The intensity that it is... for those players in the Premier League. They've got some young players adjusting to the Premier League, let alone going into the Champions League. But with a bit of good luck and whatever, you can go a long way, as we saw Tottenham and Ajax, as you say, last year.
They can still have a good run.
Yeah, they can still have a good run. Let's hope they can.
OK, well, we can look forward to another brilliant season of the biggest stars and the biggest clubs doing battle across the continent, with each and every game live right here on BT Sport. We'll head to Monaco next to discover who plays who in the 2019-20 UEFA Champions League group stage. Plus, we'll find out who's been named UEFA's Player of the Year. Will it be Ronaldo, Messi or Van Dijk?
to you by Hotels.com, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
Some of the biggest names in European football arriving in Monaco: Messi, Ronaldo and Virgil van Dijk, all there ahead of the Champions League draw, nominated for Player of the Year. Wesley Sneijder there, as well as Alisson, Van der Sar and Eric Cantona, who is going to be presented with the President's Award, dressed for the occasion. Michael Owen, Glenn Hoddle, and fresh off the trawler, I think. Jermaine Genius as well with me in the studio. Now, Michael, who of the other big hitters in Europe that we haven't mentioned yet do you fancy as well to have a good run?
Well, I think Neymar coming back to Barcelona, if that were to happen, would obviously give Barcelona another big shout.
Even just adding Griezmann without
That's
him
not
is
bad, is
pretty
it?
threatening.
Yeah, of course, your normal protagonists, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, teams like that. But Juventus look pretty strong as well this season. But I'd say if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Barcelona.
OK, well, they're almost ready to go over in Monte Carlo at the Grimaldi Forum. They're ready for the Champions League draw. We'll find out who is going to play who in this season's group stage. And your presenters for the awards are Pedro Pinto and Reshman Chowdhury.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Reshman.
Good evening, Petr.
Great to see you.
You too.
And great to welcome everyone to the UEFA Champions League group stage draw and awards ceremony.
Some of the biggest names from the world of football are here with us tonight, along with representatives from the 32 clubs who have qualified for the group stage, all eagerly awaiting to discover who they'll be facing in this season's competition.
That's right. As well as that all-important draw, we'll also be honouring some of last season's standout performers, including the women's and the men's Player of the Year.
That's right. More on those awards a little later, but first, let's take a look back at the highlights of last year's sensational UEFA Champions League competition, where there were shocks, there were thrills, and not just one, but two of the greatest comebacks of all time.
The waiting is over. The Champions League is back. The start of a long adventure. Another chapter about to be written. And it's in, the winning goal for Liverpool. What a save this is. Rakitic, wonderful strike. Oh, c'est pas possible. Petr. To the back of the net. And there's the goal they were looking for. It's Mo Salah. It's in. Breakthrough for Liverpool. Record-breaking night for Manchester City. And that changes everything. Tadic in de kruising. 0-3. Mane, that's it. Son scored! What a start for City! Son shot, 2-1 Tottenham! You can't believe your eyes! The advantage swings to Spurs! Sterling! VAR has come to the Champions League! It's Tottenham in the Final Four! Final. Daar is de licht. Oh! Oh, yes! And there's the goal back. Mora, is a Champions League miracle going to happen again? Oh, they done it! I cannot believe it! Tottenham Hotspur Champions League final.
And the Reds claim a 6th European Cup. And there's a penalty inside the first minute. It's Salah who's put Liverpool in front. Eriksen poised. A wonderful save. Origi. No arguments now. Champions League winners 2019. Liverpool have written another wonderful European chapter.
Wow, what a scintillating season. Still feel all the emotions. Congratulations to Liverpool Football Club once more as they came out on top in that all-English final in Madrid to be crowned champions of Europe for the 6th time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, though, it is time to present the first award of the evening. The President's Award goes to a former player whose outstanding achievements both on and off the field have contributed to the success and development of the beautiful game.
Previous winners of the award include Johan Cruyff, Paolo Maldini, Bobby Robson, and last year's recipient, David Beckham.
Well, to invite our latest addition to that illustrious list of players, please welcome the UEFA President, Alexander Cheperin. Nice to see you. How are you? You well?
President, welcome. Great to start the season like this here in Monaco once more. Regarding the President's Award, you announced earlier this week that it was Eric Cantona who would be receiving it. Why did you select him?
First of all, that's the only award that I decide who wins. It's a special award for me. I don't have to ask anybody. I'm happy that it's Eric Cantona. Eric was a fantastic player. Later he became an actor, commentator. But most of all, he's a guy who did a lot for good. He dedicated part of his life for charity. So he absolutely deserves that award.
Well, we are going to welcome Eric onto the stage in just a moment. But before we do, it's only fair that we also take a look at some of the highlights of his incredible career.
It's a massively important result, this.
Played in, Cantona takes on his chest, a great chance for Leeds, Cantona.
And Cantona, who's Manchester United through and through now.
As long as I can remember, football has played a leading role in my life.
And Leeds have scored.
The football pitch was the first stage where I performed.
Well, here goes Cantona on a typical weaving run.
He has been magnificent tonight, hasn't he, Cantona?
Like no other sport, football brings people together, frees their minds, ignites their passion.
What sport do you most enjoy playing? Manchester.
The game reaches billions all over the world, and it has the power to make an incredible difference in people's lives.
Cantona again, yes! Alan Rhodes, favourite Frenchman, he's done it!
This world needs football more than ever before.
Here's Cantona! That is magnificent by Cantona.
And please welcome now to the stage the President's Award winner for 2019, Eric Cantona. President.
Hello, salut.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Bonsoir, good evening.
Hi.
Eric.
Hi.
The recipient of the 2019 President's Award. What's going on through your mind right now?
As flies to wanton boys, we are for the gods. They kill us for the sport. Soon the science will not only be able to slow down the aging of the cells, soon the science will fix the cells to the state. And so we will become eternal. Only accidents, crimes, wars will still kill us. But unfortunately, crimes and wars will multiply. I love football. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. It's an honor to have both of you here. Thank you to UEFA President and Eric.
Okay, well, this season's UEFA Champions League final will take place in Turkey at the Ataturk Olympic Stadium in Istanbul, 15 years since the city last hosted the final.
That's right, Reshmin. We'll be returning to the scene of one of the most memorable finals of all time, where Liverpool secured a penalty shootout win following a stunning second-half comeback against AC Milan back in 2005.
Oof, what a night that was. Okay, well, our next guest is a Turkish international who spent 5 years in Istanbul with Galatasaray, who's also the ambassador for the final in May. And bringing the UEFA Champions League trophy onto the stage tonight, please give a warm welcome to Hamit Altintop.
Hamit.
Hello. How are you? Nice
Welcome.
to see you.
Good, thank you.
Great to see you. Istanbul is hosting the UEFA Champions League final. As someone who is Turkish, as someone who knows the city very well, as the ambassador, what makes the city so special?
First, good evening. I am proud to be here. The city is very colorful. The history, the culture, also the bridge, what connects the ASEAN and the European side is always a big adventure and experience for everyone. I can only say you have to visit there. This is the best experience for everyone.
You've played at the Ataturk Olympic Stadium, albeit in a friendly. Just imagine the final of Europe's greatest club competition taking place in that city you just described, the rivalry, the fans. What kind of atmosphere can we expect in May?
The Ataturk Stadium has his own soul. In general, in Istanbul, is supporters very passionate, and this combination with the city, with the fans, and with this amazing, important game, then you have like the example 2005.
Hamit, we're sure that that final will be fantastic. Thank you for bringing the UEFA Champions League trophy on stage as well. It's a pleasure to have you here. Enjoy the rest of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the UEFA 2020 Champions League final ambassador, Hamit Altintop.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hamit. Well, the road to Istanbul starts right here, and we will be joined by two very special guests to help us make the group stage draw tonight. So, let's meet the first.
Let's do it. He's a UEFA Champions League winning midfielder who's played for some of Europe's biggest clubs and also holds the record for being the most capped Dutch player of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Wesley Sneijder.
Thank you.
We actually have two former Galatasaray teammates, right? Because you played with Hamit in Turkey.
Yes, I did.
Later, you won earlier you won the UEFA Champions League trophy, of course, with Inter Milan, beating Bayern Munich. What memories do you have from that night?
Well, only beautiful memories. I mean, like, it's the most beautiful, most valuable prize you can win as a player, and still 10 years later, I'm still proud of it. So it was an amazing night with all the Inter fans together, and we also deserved it.
It was an awesome night, I have to say. Now, you've announced your retirement as a player recently. 17 years as a professional. You've played in 6 countries, we believe, which is pretty impressive as well. Was it a difficult decision to retire, and what are your plans going forward?
Well, of course, yeah, it was a difficult decision because you know that you can only retire once. So the moment that you decide to retire, there's no way back. So it was a hard decision, but I think I made it on the right time, and I had a fantastic career. And now I try to work with players, young players, maybe older players, to just like to help them in their career with the development and everything. And because of course there are some players they might need it. So I want to be there for them. So let's see.
I think you'll be a good mentor for any young player.
Yeah, a lot of insight, a lot of experience to pass on. Wesley, you're here tonight to help us out with the Champions League group stage draw. So if I can please ask you to take your position at the draw table. Ladies and gentlemen, Wesley Sneijder.
Well, our second guest tonight is another UEFA Champions League winner whose 20-year career at the top of his game cemented his place as one of the best goalkeepers of his generation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Petr Cech. Hello. Petr, great to have you here with us. Now, you yourself have had an incredible career, 4 Premier League titles, a host of domestic trophies, the Europa League, but let's talk about your Champions League trophy as well. 2012 in Munich, against Bayern Munich. What drama. You saved the penalty in extra time. You saved 2 spot kicks in added time. In the shootout. How do you, as like the most calm man that we normally meet, how do you keep a level head in that situation when the weight of expectation is all on your shoulders?
Good evening, everybody. You know, it's a biggest game of your career. So you know, you hope that you're gonna score 3 goals, and then you have not much to do, and then you go home with the trophy. You know, but it obviously wasn't to be. But it's a fantastic challenge for every player because you know, if you imagine the pressure, expectation, and everything, and I had lost the Champions League final once, and obviously you never want to experience it again. So the preparation which goes to that final is absolutely vital as well, and it was probably the preparation was the most important thing for me, and in the end paid off. But you know, you have to have the confidence that you know that you can do it, and I think this is the biggest part of playing any final, that you have to believe that, you know, you prepared, you work all your life, this is your opportunity, and you just go and take it. And this I was lucky and fortunate enough that what happened to me in the final.
Yeah,
Petr,
great final.
Yeah, it was a great final. Petr, you've recently retired, but you went straight back to work in football at Chelsea as a technical and performance advisor. But we know that you're quite good at playing the drums. You're also not bad at playing ice hockey in goal. So did you ever think of another career when you were hanging up your boots from the football side?
Well, I love sport, I love music, and you know, although my career finished now as a professional football player because it was time to do so, you know, I love the sport too much, so I will do anything. You know, I enjoy that. I think my body feels happy when I exercise, when I do things, and obviously I'm very competitive, and I never want to lose that. So, you know, ice hockey is one thing which keeps me, you know, that competitive spirit, being in a group, a team sport, and obviously drums. You know, I think there's nothing better when you play along to your favorite music and you can actually hit the drums as hard as you can, and you really let everything out. You know, it's fantastic.
Fantastic. Man of many talents. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for Petr Cech. Petr, if you would take your place at the draw table as well.
Now, throughout the evening, as well as the draw, obviously, we'll be presenting awards for the best goalkeeper, defender, midfielder and forward of last season's UEFA Champions League campaign.
Yes, these awards are voted for by coaches of the 32 group stage clubs, along with 55 European football journalists selected by the European sports media.
So let's begin with the award for goalkeeper of the season, which goes to a Brazilian shot stopper who starred with some sensational saves as he lifted the Champions League trophy in his first season with Liverpool.
Please welcome onto the stage the UEFA Champions League Goalkeeper of the Season, Alisson Becker. Hello. Parabéns.
Hello. Thank you.
Good Portuguese, Rushman.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
I've been practicing.
Parabéns.
Tudo bem. Muito obrigado.
Muito estilo, gosto. Alisson, parabéns por este troféu, parabéns também pelo título que ganhou na última época. Conte-me, você quando estava a crescer no Brasil e começou a carreira, pensava, sonhava em ganhar este troféu?
Sonhava, com certeza. Nós brasileiros acompanhamos muito a Champions League e toda criança, o primeiro presente que recebe é uma bola de futebol. E junto com a bola vem sonhos também. Desde que eu comecei a minha carreira levando mais a sério, foi para mim sempre um objetivo jogar na Europa, disputar uma Champions League e quem sabe me tornar um vencedor. E hoje estar aqui recebendo esse prêmio também, só tenho que agradecer a Deus, a minha família, a meus companheiros e todos os profissionais que trabalharam comigo durante essa trajetória e espero que venha mais pela frente.
Alisson, é um prazer tê-lo aqui connosco. Muito obrigado. Parabéns mais uma vez e divirta-se no resto da noite. Está bem?
Obrigado.
Congratulations, Alisson.
Thank you.
The goalkeeper of the year for the
Parabéns.
2019 Champions League.
Yeah, huge congratulations once again to Alisson. What a season he had. OK, it is time to get down to business and begin the UEFA Champions League group stage draw. Petr and myself will now make way for the draw experts. So please, he listens now after 3 years, right? Please welcome them as they join us onto the stage. The UEFA Champions League Deputy General Secretary? I'm sorry, how could I get that one wrong? The King, Giorgio Marchetti, and Michael Hesselspert, the head of UEFA Club Competitions. Pleasure to have you both here. Giorgio, over to you.
Thank you very much, Reshmin, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the draw ceremony for the 2019-2020 UEFA Champions League group stage. I would like to start by congratulating the 32 teams who have qualified for the world's most prestigious club competition and now dream of lifting this last year's trophy aloft on the 30th of May. The road to Istanbul starts today, and over the coming months, we will all be looking forward to some exciting action on the pitch as the best clubs from across Europe go head-to-head. However, before we get to the draw, let's take a quick look at the technical procedure.
The 32 teams have been allocated to 4 pots in accordance with the following principles. Pot 1 will comprise the UEFA Champions League title holder, Liverpool FC, and the UEFA Europa League title holder, Chelsea FC, as well as the domestic champions of the 6 top-ranked associations in the access list. The remaining 24 teams have been divided into 3 pots, based on their position in the UEFA Club Coefficient ranking. Since the same number of UEFA Champions League matches are played on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, the groups are divided in two colours, red for groups A to D and blue for groups E to H. The red groups will play on one match night and the blue groups will play on the other. This will alternate from match day to match day. For TV coverage reasons, every two teams from one country are paired in order to be split into red and blue groups. Please also note that based on a decision taken by the UEFA Executive Committee, teams from Russia and Ukraine shall not be drawn in the same group. The Champions League and Europa League title holders, as well as the domestic champions of Pot 1, will be drawn first. Starting with Pot 1, a ball is drawn at random and open to display the name. The team drawn is placed in the first available group in alphabetical order from A to H, as indicated by the computer, and in accordance with the established principles. For example, if the team drawn has all 8 options from A to H available, it will be automatically allocated to Group A. If the team drawn has 4 options available from E to H, for example, it will be automatically allocated to Group E, and so on. This procedure will be repeated until all the teams of Pot 1 are allocated in the 8 groups. For Pot 2, a ball will be drawn at random and open to display the name. The computer will then show which groups are available for this club, in accordance with the established principles such as country protection and TV pairings. A draw is then made to determine which of these available groups the clubs are assigned to. It must be noted that the number of options available to a team depends not only on the team's own attributes, for example, winter venue, and those of the teams already drawn, but also on the attributes of the other teams still to be drawn. This is due to the computer calculations needed to anticipate all possible scenarios and to prevent any deadlock situation. Once the 8 teams of Pot 2 have been allocated, the same procedure will apply for Pots 3 and 4 to complete all the groups. Once the draw procedure has been completed, a computer draw will determine the final position of all clubs within the 8 groups, as the position in the group determines the match schedule. In this respect, the computer will ensure that stadium clashes and winter venues are taken into account. The match calendar will be released 3 hours after the draw ceremony.
Okay, so that's how the technical part of the draw works. Let's take a look at the teams in Pot 1. And this pot includes the defending champions Liverpool, along with Chelsea, Barcelona, Manchester City, Juventus, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain and Zenit. These teams combine for 19 titles, Giorgio. Over to you to kick us off with the draw.
Thank you very much, Pedro. Yes, 19 titles are waiting to be allocated into groups. Thanks God, as you've seen, we have computers today. It will be difficult without. We start, ladies and gentlemen, the UEFA Champions League 1920 starts now, with Wesley showing us the first team occupying the first group of the UEFA Champions League. They will be allocated this first pot straight in alphabetical order, unless we have a case of pairing and the team is moved to the second part.
PSG.
So Paris Saint-Germain, it is the first team drawn in this UEFA Champions League to Group A. So Paris Saint-Germain, French champions, are in Group A. Paris Saint-Germain would have reached the semi-final in 1999. And the second team is
Bayern München.
The German champions, FC Bayern München, go to Group B. So Group B for the 5-time winners of the UEFA Champions League, the team which has a record of 16 successive home wins in the group stage and the knockout phase of Champions League between 14 and 17.
Manchester City.
Manchester City. So now we move to the champions of the English Premier League, Manchester City. Group C for Manchester City, which will chase again this fantastic silverware after their best result in 2016, where they reached semi-finals.
Juventus.
And now another team topping one of the top leagues, Juventus, Group D, for the Italian champions of Juventus, which is the Italian team which has had the most matches in the UEFA Champions Cup and Champions League, 271.
Liverpool.
Liverpool. So the title holders of Liverpool are now in Group E of this Champions League, and they will bring there their 6 titles, European titles. So let's see now.
Barcelona.
And now it is the turn of FC Barcelona. So we have completed the round of the champions in these leagues. Group F for FC Barcelona. Again, another 5-time winners in this competition.
Zenit.
And Football Club Zenit, St. Petersburg, Group G for Football Club Zenit, which had the best results in seasons 12, 14 and 16, reaching the round of 16. And this time we will try to do better.
Chelsea.
And finally, Chelsea FC, the winners of the UEFA Europa League 2019, are in Group H. And with this, we have completed the part of the top seeds.
Fantastic, Giorgio. Thank you very much. So we have our first teams in their groups, and the draw will continue shortly. But before that, it's time to present the award for the UEFA Champions League Defender of the Season. And the trophy goes to a player whose towering influence was vital to Liverpool's Champions League success.
An incredible season at the heart of that Liverpool defence. Please welcome UEFA Champions League Defender of the Season, Virgil van Dijk.
Hello. How are you? Nice to see you. Virgil, huge congratulations. It's been an incredible season, incredible time for you at Liverpool. I mean, having been on the losing side in Kiev to delivering a man-of-the-match performance in Madrid. We're a few months down the line now, a couple of months down the line. Now that the dust has settled, has the enormity of what you've achieved sunk in yet?
Yeah, obviously I think when the holidays started, I obviously definitely enjoyed every bit of it. And I think we all, deserve that as well. But yeah, this season it starts all over again. We want to compete and try to defend, obviously, the cup. It's going to be tough because there are so many great teams. But we're going to fight for it. We're going to go for it, and we'll see how it's going to end.
With the final in Istanbul, is that a good omen?
Hopefully, it's a nice city, and obviously we won the Super Cup over there a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, we're going to go for it, and that's the least you can do.
Yeah, well, congratulations. It's been an incredible season. Ladies and gentlemen, the UEFA Champions League Defender of the Season, Virgil van Dijk. Thank you.
And we'll be seeing Virgil later because he's one of the nominees for UEFA Men's Player of the Year. Time now to get back to the draw. So let's take a look at the clubs in Pot 2. And this pot includes the likes of teams that are perennial contenders as well and have won a variety of titles, like the record winners, Real Madrid, of course, 4-time winners, Ajax, 2-time winners, Benfica. So this is where it starts to get really interesting, Giorgio, as teams are drawn together. over to you.
Yes, and this makes up 20 titles. So if we had 19 in the first pot, we have 20 titles combined here in the second pot, which looks really impressive. And that's when the real excitement starts. Let's see who will play who. First team of the second pot.
Tottenham.
Tottenham Hotspur, the finalists of last year. We have 3 groups which are possible for Tottenham Hotspur. These are groups A, B, and D. So Tottenham Hotspur was the last club to make the Champions League final for the first time. And the last 3 clubs who made it were all clubs from London: Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
You've been studying the record books again, Giorgio.
We
Staying up till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Studied the record book and the geography as well.
And it's a Group B.
Group B. So Tottenham Hotspur will play together with Bayern München in Group B. And that already gives us some spice and excitement.
Ajax.
And again, to look back to next season, we need Ajax. Ajax can go into each of the 7 groups, A, C, D, E, F, G, H. So Ajax, I think we all need to praise this team, this club, what they have done in the last season. They were fantastic with their very young team, going up to 1 inch from the final.
A few seconds.
A few seconds, having started in the second qualifying round.
Yep. Just made it through this week.
Yes. Second team.
And it's a Group H.
Group H. Group H means that Ajax will face Chelsea FC in Group H. Now we're ready for the third team and the third amazing pairing of this Champions League. This time
Borussia Dortmund.
Borussia Dortmund. So Borussia Dortmund can be drawn into 3 groups, E, F, G. So these groups are possible for Borussia Dortmund, which had an interesting record in 1819. So the first German team finishing group stage with 5 clean sheets. So German football is famous for its attacking phase, but Borussia were very good defensively as well.
And Borussia goes to Group F.
Group F for Borussia Dortmund, which means that they will face the like of FC Barcelona. Now, ready to see another team?
So it's the 4th team to be drawn from this pot.
Yes. Oh.
Benfica.
Benfica. So Benfica can go into 5 groups, A, C, D, E, and G. So no condition in this case. So Benfica, twice winners of the UEFA Champions League, and also the second team with the most participations in this European Cup, 39, second only to Real Madrid.
It's a Group G.
Group G for Benfica. They will play together with the football club Zenit St. Petersburg in Group G. So we are ready for the 5th team of this second pot. And this time
Real Madrid.
It is the all-time record holder of Real Madrid, 13 times winner of the UEFA Champions Cup and Champions League. So for Real Madrid, we will have 3 possibilities, Group A or C or D.
Going to get a big clash either way, I think.
It will be interesting.
Group A.
So the group of Real Madrid is Group A. together with Paris Saint-Germain. So Wesley, as a former Real Madrid player, I think you will be looking forward to this clash.
Definitely. Nice game. Shakhtar Donetsk.
And now FC Shakhtar Donetsk, the champions of Ukraine. C, D, or E are the possibilities for this club, which was quarter-finalist in 2011. So for Shakhtar Donetsk, now Petr will soon tell us which is the group.
It's a Group C.
Group C. So Group C for Shakhtar Donetsk together with Manchester City. So only two groups now are left to be completed. We're talking about D and E. And the next team is Napoli. So Napoli has only one group available, no other possibilities. The group is Group E. And Napoli will face Liverpool again. It's nothing new for them. It was, if I'm not wrong, the same situation in the group phase of last year. So Napoli and Liverpool falling together in the same group.
Atletico de Madrid.
And to finish, we have now Juventus and Atletico de Madrid, who know each other very well, having played in the knockout phase this year. Group D is now Juventus and Atletico de Madrid.
Wow, well, a lot of reaction here in the draw hall already when some of these big titans of European football were drawn together, looking ahead to competing to try to win Europe's and the world's top club prize. Now, before we continue to pot 3, let's present the award for the UEFA Champions League Midfielder of the Season. And the trophy goes to a player who turned heads across Europe during Ajax's fantastic run to last season's semi-finals.
And the UEFA Champions League midfielder of the season is Frankie de Jong. Congratulations. What an honor.
Frankie, welcome. Great to have you here with us. Last season, Ajax was really one of the fairy tales of the competition, right? Beating some of the favorites, perhaps, like Juventus and Real Madrid. How did you do it? Because not only did you win, but you played some great football as well.
Yeah, it was an incredible journey for us as a team. And yeah, how did we do it? I don't know. I think we just had a good plan, tactical plan. We had some really talented players with a lot of quality, and then
like you?
If you no, not like me. And then if you combine those two, you will get great results.
Frankie, look, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. Good luck in your next season in the Champions League as well, and see you soon, I'm sure. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Frankie. Well done. Yeah, huge congratulations to Frankie. What a talent, what a team they were last season. Okay, it is time to get back to the draw. So let's take a look at the teams in pot 3. Now, these include the 3-time winners Inter, as well as some finalists from previous years like Valencia, Club Brugge, and Bayer Leverkusen as well. Giorgio, over to you.
Yes, and the going is getting tougher now with this third group, as the groups are taking real shape.
16 down, 16 to go.
Yes, halfway through.
Halfway.
And here we go. First team drawn in pot number 3.
Internazionale.
That's FC Internazionale Milano. We have 3 possibilities for Internazionale. Groups F, G, or H? Internazionale, 3-time winners of the Champions League and the last Italian club to win.
With Wesley.
With Wesley on the field, Jose Mourinho on the bench.
Yes.
Let's see the group.
It's a Group F.
Group F for Inter. That means quite a tough group, actually. FC Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, and Inter. So we are ready to go with another one.
Bayer Leverkusen.
Bayer Leverkusen has 6 possibilities, A, C, D, E, G, and H. For Bayer Leverkusen, the finalists from 2002, where they had the bad luck of bumping into certain Zinedine Zidane, who volleyed the ball straight into the net to break the dreams of this team. But they can try again this season, of course.
In Hampton, right?
Hampden Park, yes.
Group D.
Group D. So Group D means that Bayer Leverkusen will be competing against Juventus and Atletico de Madrid. So Wesley, you can tell us now what's the next team and where it will go. It will be Petr to tell us.
Valencia.
So Valencia, Club de Football. Groups E, G, and H are available for Valencia, where the finalists twice, 2000 and 2001. So the first participation, Valencia reached immediately the final of the UEFA Champions League and repeated the performance the following season.
Against Real and Bayern.
Real Madrid and Bayern Munich.
Valencia goes to Group H.
Group H for Valencia together with Chelsea and with Ajax. So we can already anticipate another very competitive group here with these 3 teams.
Looks okay.
Very experienced in Europe.
Salzburg.
And now we go with FC Salzburg, which have 5 possibilities, A, B, C, E, and the G. So these are the possibilities for FC Salzburg, which is the second participation in the group stage after 1994-95. Salzburg, they've been actually chasing the group phase many times over the past few seasons.
Over the playoffs, yeah.
And finally they made it this year.
Group E.
Group E for FC Salzburg together with Liverpool and Napoli. So we have 4 teams left in this pot, for groups obviously. The first of these 4 teams
Dinamo
is G and K Dinamo, which can be allocated into groups A, B, or C. These are the 3 possibilities for Dinamo Zagreb at their 7th participation in the UEFA Champions League group stage.
Dinamo, who qualified this week as well through the playoffs.
Yes, beating Rosenborg in a tight playoff game.
Dinamo goes to C.
Group C for G&K Dinamo together with Manchester City and Shakhtar Donetsk. 3 teams are left, Wesley. Thank you for telling us.
Olympiacos.
Olympiacos FC. So from Greece, Olympiacos FC can be allocated to Group A or Group B. So it's a simple draw for Olympiacos. Quarterfinals in '89. And they are at the 19th participation in Champions League. They are number 7 in the European ranking for number of participations.
Group B.
Group B for Olympiacos, together with Bayern and with Tottenham Hotspur. Only 2 teams are left, and the groups which are unattended yet by any team of this sport are Group A and Group G.
Club Brugge.
Group Brugge, Bruges, and for Bruges we only have one chance, one possibility. Group A for Bruges, together with Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid, and only one team is left. We want to see this name coming out of the ball.
Olympique Lyon.
And the name is the name of Olympique Lyonnais, and for Olympique Lyonnais obviously we have Group G, where the other teams are Football Club Zenit, St. Petersburg and Benfica.
It's already looking good, isn't it, Giorgio?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Very nice.
OK, well, 8 teams remain, and we'll be finding out who they'll face in just a moment. But first, it is time to reveal the winner of the UEFA Champions League Forward of the Season. And this year, the award goes to a 4-time winner who was last season's top scorer for the 6th time in his career.
The UEFA Champions League Forward of the Season is Lionel Messi.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Estás, Leo. Enhorabuena.
Gracias.
Leo, enhorabuena. 15 temporadas jugando en la Champions, una vez más. El primer goleador, el Pichichi de la competición. ¿Cómo se mantiene ese nivel año tras año? ¿Te fijas cada temporada esas metas tan altas?
Bueno, buenas tardes. Sí, la verdad que cada vez que arranca un año el objetivo es ese, ¿no? Intentar de superarme a nivel individual, intentar de seguir dando lo mejor, igual que con el grupo, intentar de conseguir los objetivos que nos planteamos al principio y bueno, lo intentaremos un año más poder hacerlo.
Sí, siempre. Y esperamos verte en el campo muy pronto.
Ojalá, eso también espero.
Vamos a ver. Ladies and gentlemen, the UEFA Champions League Forward of the Season, Lionel Messi. Enhorabuena, Leo. Ciao.
And we'll also be talking to Leo later, since he's also nominated for the UEFA Men's Player of the Year alongside Cristiano Ronaldo as well. Time now to conclude the draw. Let's take a look at the clubs in Pot 4 that will be completing the group stages, and they include the first-time competitors in this stage of the competition, Atalanta, and we've got a former winner as well. I won't say it in Serbo-Croat, I'll say it in English, Red Star. That's a lot easier for me. Galatasaray as well, Henk Leipzig, Lokomotiv Moscow, Lille, and Slavia Prague. Over to you.
And only one team per group, and we will know everything about this year's Champions League. The first team is Atalanta. So the beginners of Champions League of Atalanta, they have 3 possibilities, Group A, B or C. The very first participation in the group stage thanks to a fantastic season they had last year, finishing 3rd in the Serie A.
Group C.
Group C for Atalanta. And this group, so it's the first group to be completed with Manchester City, Shakhtar Donetsk, Dinamo Zagreb and Atalanta. Wesley, we can move on to another team.
So we don't do group by group.
To complete the second group.
He was just saying, just highlight.
Leipzig.
So this time it's Rasenball Leipzig. We can allocate Leipzig to 3 groups, or the groups are E, or G, or H. These are the possibilities for Leipzig, which is now at their second participation in the Champions League group stage after the edition of 2 years ago. And in 1 second, we will see which is the group of Leipzig.
Group G.
G. So Group G, with Leipzig, we have Football Club Zenit, Benfica, and Olympique Lyonnais.
So 2 groups now complete?
Yes. Group C and G.
Lokomotiv Moscow.
And now we have Lokomotiv Moscow. For Lokomotiv Moscow, the possibilities are Group A or Group B or Group D. So Lokomotiv made the round of 16, 15 years ago, 2004. So the group of Lokomotiv is
Group D.
Group D, which is now completed with Juventus, Atletico de Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, and Lokomotiv Moscow. Yes, Wesley, please give us another team of the spot.
Slavia Prague.
There's a time of Slavia Praha. Slavia can go into the 5 open groups, A, B, E, F, and H for Slavia, coming also from the playoffs. They played yesterday against Cluj. Second time in the group stage for Slavia Prague after 2007 and 2008.
Special meaning also for Petr, being from Czech Republic as well, drawing out the group.
Slavia Praha to the Group F.
Group F for Slavia Praha. It's quite a challenging group, actually, for this Czech team. Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, Inter, and Slavia Praha. Another 4 teams to go.
Yeah. I don't know if his friends back in the Czech Republic are going to be too happy with that, Petr. Turn off your phone now.
Lille.
LOSC Lille. So LOSC Lille from France. The groups are B or E or H. For Lille, back to Champions League. They made the round of 16 in 2007. That's their best achievement so far. And let's see how they will try again to qualify for this round of 16. In which group? Which are the opponents?
It's a Group H.
H. H means that they will have to face the likes of Chelsea, Ajax, and Valencia. Not an easy group either, I would say. Third last team.
Genk.
Genk. So the Belgian champions of Genk have only one possibility, and that's Group E. So we allocate Genk to Group E together with Liverpool, Napoli, and FC Salzburg. And we have 2 teams left in the pot to be drawn.
Now you have to help me. Zvezda.
Crvena Zvezda, so the Red Star Belgrade is the first team, or the first of the last 2 teams. Both groups are possible for Crvena Zvezda, and the groups are A and B. We'll see if it's A or B. For Red Star.
Crvena Zvezda to the Group B.
Group B. So together with Bayern, Tottenham Hotspur, and Olympiacos. So only one team is left, Wesley. We can imagine which team it is, but you have to tell us.
My next team, no?
Most probably, yes. And from the city where we'll go to play a final.
Galatasaray.
Yes, it is Galatasaray, and Galatasaray completes the last open group, Group A, together with Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, and Bruges.
So there you have it. The lineup for next season's UEFA Champions League group stages has been set. Let's go through the 8 groups, starting with A. We'll have Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Club Brugge, and Galatasaray. In B, it's Bayern Munich, Tottenham, Olympiacos, and Red Star.
In Group C, debutants Atalanta will be facing Manchester City, Shakhtar Donetsk and Dinamo. Group D, it's Juventus, Atletico, Bayer Leverkusen and Lokomotiv Moskva.
We've got Liverpool, Napoli, Salzburg and Henk in Group E, while in F, it's Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, Internazionale and Slavia Prague.
Group G, Zenit St. Petersburg, Benfica, Olympique Lyonnais and Leipzig. And we end with a really tasty one. Group H, Chelsea, Ajax, Valencia and Lille.
That's right, we're all looking forward to next season's competitions. Our thanks for now to our special guests with us here this evening, Petr Cech and Wesley Sneijder, for helping out with the draw, and also, of course, Michael and Giorgio. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, time now for us to focus on the Equal Game Award, which UEFA presents to people, clubs, or institutions in the football community who have stood out in promoting inclusion, diversity, or accessibility. This year we have 2 winners of this award. Let's have a closer look at their stories.
During 20 years working for charities in Asia among violent conflict and poverty, Burnley FC fan Scott developed post-traumatic stress disorder and depression. To help relieve his PTSD, he took up running. He decided to run to every single Burnley away game last season, covering almost 5,000 kilometres and almost 6 million steps, raising more than €60,000 for Premier League clubs' charities, and in the process, turning his darkness into other people's light. Borussia Dortmund and its fans showed strength and unity in the fight against the far right in German football. They are educating and confronting some of their own fans with campaigns including organising trips to Auschwitz and donating money to the World Holocaust Centre, delivering a clear and powerful message. Racism, discrimination and anti-Semitism are not welcome here.
Well, to present the award, we welcome back the UEFA President Alexander Ceferin. President, why is it so important to you to promote an award like this?
Look, football is more than just a lead game. It's about hope, it's about diversity, it's about friendship, and this campaign was fantastic. I must say that I was delighted by the contribution of the players. 2 of them are here, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. When we started this campaign, they sacrificed so much time for that I was impressed. So football is for all, not for big, not for small, not for fat, not for slim, not for women, not for men, but for all. So for me, this is one of the top awards.
Yeah. President, really an important award for UEFA to hand out every season, and we'd now like to welcome the winners, Scott Cunliffe and Borussia Dortmund CEO Hans-Joachim Watzke, to join us here on stage.
Where's the award?
Hello. Congratulations. Hello.
How are you doing? Lovely.
Very well. You good?
I'm very good, thank you.
Do
yeah.
2 kisses. We're in Europe now.
Sorry?
We're in Europe now. You do 2.
Scott, this one is yours.
Thank you so much. Pleasure meeting you.
Congratulations to you both. I'm going to start with Scott, because I want to know how you thought about this idea to run to every single away game that Burnley had, and how happy you were with the results. But it was quite a challenge.
For sure, yeah. Well, the President just explained football is more about winning. It's about community and unity. And I think this week in Northern England, we've seen a club demise. So for us, it's about community and unity. I'm very lucky that I've had one of the best community clubs, Burnley Football Club and Burnley Football Club in the community supporting me, on with Burnley fans and Burnley businesses supporting me all the way out for this season. So we've been able to raise a lot of money and also spread a lot of love to the other Premier League clubs and other people, supporters of those clubs, from raising a lot of money. So hopefully it's just the first step.
And I have to know, how many pairs of trainers did you use during the season?
7 or 8, yeah.
That's not bad, actually.
That's not bad. I expected more. And Juan Joaquim, just want to ask you, what responsibility do you think football clubs have to promote these values, like diversity, like inclusion, and what kind of a difference do you think Borussia Dortmund has made?
I think a great club like BVB with 155,000 members and with 81,000 spectators every game has a lot of possibilities to fight against racism and against, especially for us, very important anti-Semitism. And you can be sure with this prize, it's a big honor for us. We will do it the next years with all pressure we have, and we will continue this fight the next future.
Hans-Joachim and Scott, congratulations. Thank you for being with us here tonight in Monaco. President, thank you as well. You'll be back on stage one final time in just a bit. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
And now, Reshman, it's time for a change of scenery. There we go. It's time now to present our final 2 awards of the evening, the UEFA Women's and Men's Player of the Year.
Yes, that's right. These awards are voted for by a combination of coaches and journalists from European sports media. And with a little more on those awards and how the winner is chosen, here's a message from the president of the organisation, Rainer Holschuh.
As the president of European sports media, which comprises media from all of UEFA's 55 member associations, I would like to thank all the jury members who participated in the voting for this year's award. Since 2011, ESM has been part of the voting process together with UEFA, with renowned reporters from across the continent. For these awards, players in Europe have been judged in regard to their performances over the whole season in all competitions, both domestically and internationally, at either club or national team level. So let's see who the winners are.
Let's do it, Rainer. Let's begin with the nominees for the UEFA Women's Player of the Year.
Great memories there, and 3 fantastic players, but there can, of course, only be 1 winner. And this year, the award for the UEFA Women's Player of the Year goes to Lucy Bronze.
Now, sadly, Lucy can't be with us tonight as she's on international duty with England at the moment. However, she did send us this message.
Hello everybody, sorry I couldn't be there this evening to collect this award, although I'm very surprised to be accepting it. Obviously I'm ecstatic and super humbled to have won the award up against two fantastic players who I know really well. At Lyon, two great girls, great players. But I want to say a huge thanks to the Lionesses, the England team. We had a great summer, and I don't think I would have won this award if it wasn't for them. The Lyon team, we had an amazing season. We won the treble. I think any one of those girls could have been up here receiving this award because I played such a fantastic team there. So I want to thank them, both teams, for pushing me to be a better player and making me the player that I am today. And I'm sorry that I couldn't be there this evening. Hope you enjoy the evening.
Great season for club and country. Huge congratulations to Lucy. So now we come to the award for UEFA Men's Player of the Year. Let's meet our three nominees.
Well, I'm delighted to be joined by the three nominees here today. I'm going to start with Leo. Leo, marcaste tu gol número 600 ante el Liverpool. Era por el Barça, pero ante el Liverpool. Y también este gol ganó el premio al mejor gol de la temporada. ¿Cómo se mantiene este nivel, esta calidad de goles? Y después de marcar tantos goles, ¿te sigue generando la misma emoción?
Sí, la verdad que sí, que es lindo hacer goles. Es una sensación muy linda para uno, para el equipo, para la gente y bueno, está bueno poder hacer goles.
Imposible descansar de marcar y ganar, ¿no?
Ese es el objetivo siempre, ¿no? Intentar de hacer las cosas para ganar, sobre todo, más que marcar. Y bueno, si se puede marcar, mejor también.
Gracias, Leo. Cristiano, you are still the top scorer in the history of this competition. That has not gone away. You've had a great year for club and country, winning the Scudetto in your first season in Italy, the Nations League with Portugal as well. You love a challenge. How has this first year in Italy been for you?
Amazing. It was a special year because I moved from, I was 9 years in Real Madrid, and to move to Italian League was a big move, but it was good. The year was amazing. I won 3 titles, the Super Cup, Serie A, and Nationals Cup against Holland, which is fantastic.
Nice to see Virgil
yes,
again.
I have to say Holland. And it was good. Individual, I did very well, and collective as well. So amazing year, and I'm so glad. Another year, another records, so perfect.
Now, we haven't had you both together for a while, so while you're both here, we noticed you've been talking a lot. Do you miss him? ¿Te extraña o no? Es la pregunta.
¿Para él o para mí?
No, tú a él.
Ah, quieres los dos,
Sí.
ok. El que conteste primero.
Sí, yo ya lo dije en su momento, era lindo
Llores
tenerlo.
mucho por Cristiano.
Era una rivalidad linda, sobre todo porque estaba en el Madrid también y bueno, ahora está en un gran equipo también y lo vemos desde España.
Oh, es español?
No, English. I think, yeah.
I was curious because
we shared this stage 15 years, me and him. I don't know if it's ever happened in football. The same two guys in the same stage all the time. So it's not easy, as you know. And of course, we have a good relationship. We not had a dinner together yet, but I hope in the future.
You're in Monaco tonight.
It is nice. Of course, I miss to play in Spain. We have that battle the last 15 years, which is good. He pushed me and I push him as well. So it's good to be part of history of football. I'm there, and of course he's there as well.
You had a recent interview, didn't you? Taken a little bit out of context, saying that you're going to retire next year. I think it's very clear for you that you're not retiring just yet. You'll be around for a while. Can we just ask you to make sure you retire at the same time as Leo?
Well,
que termine su carrera al mismo momento que tú.
He's 2 years younger than me, I think.
Keep going, no?
But I think I look good for my age. I'm still... I'm not bad. So I hope to be here next year, and in 2 years, in 3 years. So the people who don't like me, they're going to see me here.
The haters are all part of it, aren't they, Cristiano? I mean, we want to see this rivalry go on as long as possible. Thank you very much, both of you. And Virgil, you're like the new kid with these two. How does that feel?
Feels all right. I'm very proud to be here. Obviously, with these two guys, they've done pretty well over the last 15 years, what you've been saying. So, yeah, what I say, I'm very proud to be here, and we'll see what's going to happen.
Well, you've more than earned your right to be here. We talked a little bit about, that final victory sinking in, I should say. Let's go back to that semi-final, that comeback. I'm sorry, Leo's here, but hopefully he doesn't understand too much English. But that 3-0 down at the Camp Nou, you completely turned it around. It was an incredible game of football. There was so much drama, so many characters who played their part, the cheeky, quick corner as well, so many elements to that. It was a gutsy performance. I mean, at what point did you believe that you could turn that tie around? And also, what role did Anfield play in that?
Well, first of all, I think Anfield played a massive role. Well, I think after the game in Spain, I think we all felt that, 3-0 wasn't really, the right, result at the night, but it was reality. We were 3-0 down, and we had to overcome it by do the unthinkable. But I think we had a crazy couple of days, actually. We traveled back, and in the weekend we played Newcastle, and we scored in the last couple of minutes to get the 3 points. We also obviously were in a tight title race at the time as well. And we recovered from Newcastle, then one day to prepare for the Barcelona game. And to actually do it was unbelievable. I think the man himself can say that the atmosphere was outstanding. It was something special, and everything obviously clicked that evening as well. The goals he scored at the right times, was just a fantastic evening.
Yeah, one of the most memorable nights. Congratulations to all three of you on your nominations. We'll be finding out who will be winning the Men's Player of the Year in just a moment. But for now, back to Pedro.
Thanks, Reshman. Thanks also to Leo, Cristiano, and Virgil. Good luck to all of them. We'll be finding out who wins very shortly. As I invite Reshman to join me back here on stage, I'd also like to take the opportunity to welcome back the UEFA President, Alexander Ceferin.
Thank you.
Welcome back, President. If you could please do the honors and reveal who has won the UEFA Men's Player of the Year for 2019.
UEFA Men's Player of the Year is Virgil van Dijk.
Congratulations.
Virgil, congratulations. You've been talking about what a successful season you had, both for club and country, reaching the final of the UEFA Nations League. As you stand here as the Men's Player of the Year for UEFA, what goes through your mind as You've worked so hard from being a kid to a young player to breaking into the first teams and now winning the Champions League and this trophy.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think I need to thank all my teammates. Without all of them and without the staff, obviously, I wouldn't achieve what I've achieved over the last year, especially. Thank my family, of course. But yeah, it's been a long road. But it's part of my journey. It's part of who I am. I needed it like this. I'm not a player who was 18 years old and had that rise straight away. I had to work hard for every step of the way, and that's part of me. And I'm very happy about that. And yeah, what I said, I'm very proud to get this trophy, and it's all credit to everyone that's helped me along the way.
And if I may ask, was there a particular inspiration or role model that you had when you were going through those tough steps throughout your career?
Well, I looked up as a young player to Ronaldinho, because he had so much joy in his way of playing, his tricks. Obviously, I played a lot on the streets, and it was such a great feeling to watch him play. And but overall, I think all the people that helped me throughout the way, until now, and obviously will help me in the future as well. I will always be very grateful for that.
Pleasure to have you here. Congratulations again, Virgil.
Thank you.
Yeah. Amazing, Virgil. Well done. Stay with us. Stay with us.
Don't
stay
leave
with
us.
Don't go.
I leave or not?
You stay as well. Both of you are welcome on this stage. That does bring us to the end of tonight's show. Congratulations from all of us to Lucy Bronze and, of course, to you, Virgil. And thanks to the UEFA President, Alexander Ceferin. I'm glad you stayed. And all of tonight's award winners and very special guests.
And believe it or not, the UEFA Champions League group stages kick off in less than 3 weeks' time from now. So the very best of luck to all of the 32 clubs taking part in this season's competition.
There, that's right. From Pedro and myself and everybody here in Monaco, it's been a real pleasure to have your company. Thank you for joining us, and good night.
Thank you, Reshmin and Pedro. So the Champions League groups have been decided, and here is confirmation then of all 8 groups. 2 European heavyweights in Group A, Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid in there. Tottenham in a tricky group in Group B with Bayern Munich in there. They also have Olympiacos and a tough trip to Red Star Belgrade as well, their stadium. Always an intense atmosphere. It's a good group for Man City there with Shakhtar Donetsk, Dinamo Zagreb and Atalanta, who are Champions League debutants. City, though, drawn with Shakhtar 3 seasons running now. And you've got Juve and Atletico paired together in Group D. I think Liverpool will also be pretty happy as well. They're paired with Napoli again, who they played last season. Both teams winning the home leg 1-0 in those meetings. They've also got FC Salzburg, who've never made it out of the groups before, and a trip to Belgium to play Genk. In Group F, Barca are in there, Dortmund, Inter and Slavia Prague. That one looking like a very tricky group. And Group H, Chelsea, I think Frank Lampard will be rather happy with that draw. They've got last season's semi-finalist Ajax in there, but also Valencia and Lille. So plenty to discuss. We'll get the thoughts of Michael, Glenn and Jermaine very shortly and dissect all of that, plus get more reaction from Monaco after the break.
is brought to you by Hotels.com, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
Flags will wave, there'll be plenty of noise, so much passion.
The cream of European football in so many ways.
Fueled by the fury of recent riotous encounters, by a shared mission to thrill.
The man of the moment yet again.
Oh, would you believe it? That's the goal to take them through to the quarter-finals. Ronaldo!
The Champions League classic that's had absolutely everything.
History made at Anfield! I cannot believe it!
The blue flag is flying high. Liverpool are champions of Europe once again.
The Champions League and Europa League are back, and BT Sport is the place to watch it all. And this is what we have to look forward to in the Champions League as the groups have been decided. Tottenham are in Group B, drawn with Bayern Munich, Olympiacos and Red Star Belgrade. Manchester City, I think, will be very happy there with Shakhtar Donetsk for the third season in a row. Dinamo Zagreb and debutants in the Champions League, Atalanta, Juve and Atletico in Group D. So for Liverpool, it's Napoli again, as it was last season, Salzburg and Genk, so not too far to travel in their group games. Group F looks a cracker with Barcelona, Dortmund and Inter in there, and Chelsea, I think, will also be quite pleased with Ajax, Valencia and Lille. Michael Owen, Glenn Hoddle and Jermaine Genus watching all of that unfold in the studio. Michael, your initial reaction, do you think all the English sides can be fairly pleased?
Fairly. Definitely Liverpool and definitely Manchester City. I think Chelsea's is a group where you could give everybody a chance. I think it's a very, very equal group, that one. Of course, Tottenham have got Bayern Munich, which is the standout team. They've also got a tricky trip to Greece. But in general, I think, you know, English teams will be reasonably happy. And I still fancy all four to go through.
How do you feel about that Tottenham draw, Glenn?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to perform away from home in that group really well. You know, you hope they take home advantage, of course, but Olympiacos and Red Star away, and obviously Bayern Munich will be tough, but those away games are going to be really tough for Tottenham, and they've really got to perform. But I'm optimistic, like Michael. I think all four teams can get through to the last 16.
Yeah, they've got a couple of intense trips in there, Tottenham, as well, haven't they, in terms of the atmosphere with Bayern and Red Star. Red Star Belgrade beating Liverpool in the group stage at home last season as well.
Always a tricky place to go and play football, essentially. I think the way I see it now, though, you know, Tottenham have no excuses within this competition. They've been a part of the competition now for a good couple of years. They know that they can be fierce games going to Olympiacos and Red Star, but I still fancy them to go through. You know, for me personally, I think Group H is a really interesting group, Chelsea's group. I think it's probably the most evenly matched group I think I've ever seen in the Champions League. You know, Chelsea in transition, good Ajax team, Valencia coming back last year, obviously, in the Liga, and Lille, you know, are always kind of a good young side. So I think, you know, that's going to be an interesting group for Frank Lampard.
But Frank should look at that and feel pretty confident of getting out of that group.
Well, I can't pick who's going to go through. It's one of those, it's like a free-for-all, I think, in that particular group. He'll feel a favourite, definitely, don't get me wrong, but I do, you know, there's some surprise packages, I think, you know, within there, some good games.
What about Liverpool's group then, Michael? As you said, they'll be very pleased in there. They do have Napoli in there again. The home leg was won by the home side 1-0 last season. Nothing really to trouble them there. You'd expect them to top that group?
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll be delighted with it. I think the countries that they're flying to are good ones in terms of getting there, the distance they'll have to travel. This was a funny game last season. Liverpool played totally the opposite to how they normally play. Sat back and almost tried to play for the draw and got done in the last minute or so. And then the pressure was on. But when the pressure's on at Anfield, we all know the result. But no, it was two very good games. But of course, you've got a little bit of, you know, time to manoeuvre, to have a little bit of an average result or two in the group stage. And I think with what they've got, even a mistake or two against Napoli, I still fancy them to progress.
Of course, Carlo Ancelotti leading Napoli certainly knows his way around the Champions League, won it 3 times. But have they really got enough in that squad to trouble the best in Europe?
No, I don't think they have. They certainly, I don't think, will trouble Liverpool. I really think they're going to be too powerful, too confident, they're champions after all. And they've got that 12th man, as we've been talking about Anfield. If they do come unstuck at any stage, going back to Anfield is obviously a massive plus for them. So I can only see Liverpool winning that group. I really can.
They do need to improve their away form in the competition this season. They didn't win any of the away group games last season, relied completely on that Anfield atmosphere.
If they want to make it more comfortable, yes, but I'm not that concerned about it, to be honest with you, because what they do at Anfield is they win games, and they win when it matters, no matter how, whether they need 3, 4 or 5 goals, you're always confident they're going to go and do it. Look, I think within Champions League games away from home, they're just always difficult games, and you always get surprises. And you have the odd one that, like last year, Liverpool had a couple with City. But essentially, with Liverpool, I'm never that worried that they're not going to get through their group.
Jurgen Klopp wants to create that mentality of winning trophies now. He says he wants the players to stay greedy now they've won that Champions League. That Super Cup win in Istanbul will have certainly helped.
I think it's easier once you win one. I think, the fear of losing, the fear of teams being better than you after that is a bigger driver than actually getting over the hurdle of winning your first one. The first one's a big one to win. Of course, they've gone and won the Super Cup as well now. So 2 trophies in the blink of an eye. And, with the way they're playing, the way Liverpool have started the season as well, the way the draw has gone, you can only see Liverpool picking up more and more trophies in the future years.
And that carrot of the final being in Istanbul as well.
Yeah, lucky omen, of course. Virgil van Dijk mentioned winning the Super Cup there. But I think if you mention Istanbul to Liverpool fans, their thoughts will immediately go to the unbelievable comeback against AC Milan. So, yeah, it's been a great place for Liverpool over the years.
What are your thoughts then on Man City's group, Glenn? They'll be very happy, I'm sure. They've got a couple of intense atmospheres as well to head to in their group with Shakhtar and Atalanta as well. It's a feisty place to go.
Well, it is, but you've got to say Man City will come out of that group, and they should come out as winners as well. It's not like they've got another one in there that you go, wow, that's going to be a hell of a game, heavyweights. They should be too powerful for their 3 opponents, and it's about winning your group, don't forget, as well, which is important. So, yeah, I think that's a really good group for me, in the sense that possibly, if you've got some heavyweights in there, you might have to think about playing it, but he might be able to tinker with his league games, with the Premier League games leading up to that. So you haven't got to play yet. I don't think City have got to play their absolute best 11 in that group.
It's going to help him fighting on the 2 fronts.
With the squad that he's got as well, I think that's going to be very helpful for him.
Oh, 4 fronts, as I'm sure they're going for this season. OK, we'll talk more about Tottenham and Chelsea after the break, and we'll get more reaction from the Grimaldi Forum in Monaco.
is brought to you by Hotels.com, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
The Champions League group stage draw is complete. Let's hear what the competition's all-time top scorer thinks of Juventus's group. Here is Cristiano Ronaldo talking to Emma Dodds.
Well, first of all, Cristiano, what is your reaction to the draw? Juventus in with Atletico, Bayer Leverkusen and Lokomotiv Moscow.
Tough group, like always. You know, the stage groups, they're always like that. But we are confident. We are Juventus. And we're looking forward to do it, to start well the Champions League. And as you know, it is a difficult competition to win. But we are very confident for this year.
What would it mean to you to take the Champions League trophy to Juventus? You arrived there last season and you won the league. What would it mean to do that this term?
Well, I don't know what's going to happen this year, but when the year starts, I'm always confident. And then this year, I'm not change my mind. Last year was amazing. We win the Super Cup, we win the Serie A. I won the Nationals Cup for Portugal. So this year we try to do the same. The Champions League, Serie A. We have the Euro Cup year as well. So step by step, and we will see what's going to happen.
Thank you for your time. We wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
He's always confident. His powers don't seem to be waning either. They've got Atletico, who they knocked out in the round of 16 last year. They've got him, and they've got a very strong squad. You can see why they're a lot of people's favourites this year, Juventus.
Yeah, lots of good signings. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo being in the team gives you a chance no matter who and what team you're playing. Atletico Madrid is a very, very difficult tie, but I'm pretty sure that they'll be sick of the sight of him, all the damage he's done to them over the season. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much you'd expect those two big hitters to go through that group. And you're right, I think Juventus are probably one of the teams this season that could, could win it. There's probably half a dozen, I would say, that are realistic chances of winning it, and Juve is certainly in that.
Of all the English sides, Tottenham, the only ones with a European heavyweight in their group, Jermaine, in Bayern Munich, aren't they? But they got out of a group with Inter, with Barcelona in last season. They shouldn't really fear any big hitter, should they?
Oh, well, look, I mean, I think some people would class Inter as a football club as a big hitter, but I think if they caught Inter Milan in a time where they're in transition themselves. They're a lot stronger this year, Inter, than they were last year. And it's similar for Bayern Munich. They've lost, obviously, Robin, they've lost Ribery. I know they've brought in Coutinho and the window's still open, but this is not a Bayern Munich of 3-4 years ago.
They're in transition, aren't they?
Very much so, It's a very tough place to go. There was talks, about 2-3 weeks ago of Lewandowski not entirely happy with the fact that they hadn't done enough business to strengthen them as a European force. But it's still going to be a tough place to go and get a result. But, if you're going to play Bayern, I would say that now is a very good time to try and get them.
OK, well, let's see what Petr Cech made of Chelsea's draw. He's talking to Emma.
Well, Petr, if I can start by getting your reaction to that draw. Ajax, Valencia and Lille, what are your thoughts on it?
It's not an easy group because, I think it's a very even group. All teams have a lot of quality and I think it's one of those groups where everybody can beat everybody, so this makes it very interesting. But I think we can be satisfied with with the draw. We avoided long travel, so I think that's one of the positives.
And a unique situation in current footballing terms that I don't think that Chelsea have played Ajax before, or Lille, we believe.
No, there are new teams for Chelsea fans and for the club, so it's going to be a new interesting encounter. But as I said, Ajax had a fantastic season last season, so obviously they will want to repeat that. But we're looking forward to the challenge, and I hope that we're going to go through. Obviously.
What are the expectations as far as Europe are concerned from a Chelsea perspective this season?
Well, we would like to do as best as possible. So obviously compete in every game, try to win and go through the group stage, and then once you reach the knockout stages, then anything can happen. So we will see how we go. But as I said, the first target is obviously try to go through the group stage and qualify the next round.
And we saw you up on stage doing the draw. How was that for you? Was it nerve-wracking?
It's a new experience for me, and I enjoy that because it's something I've never done before, and obviously it's an honor as well to be a part of the draw. So hopefully the football fans will have some interesting games to see.
think the Chelsea fans will be happy. Thank you for your time, Petr.
No problem, thank you.
So Chelsea with Ajax, Valencia and Lille in their group. It could have been an awful lot worse for them. What do you think that the expectations are, Glenn, on Frank Lampard in this competition?
Well, I think certainly now looking at the group, it's a tough group, but it's going to be close. That's not going to be an easy group for Chelsea, but I think they will get through. I like the fact that their opponents are inexperienced to a certain degree. Ajax are a young group of players as well. So there's no sort of heavyweight there that you think, wow, that's going to be tough for Chelsea. But the good thing for England as well is there's a lot of young talent playing for Chelsea at the moment, and we've said in the past that our English talent, can they play in the Champions League?
How big a
They're
step
going to get a chance,
up is it for the likes of Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham, bearing in mind they're in the Championship last season?
Hudson-Odoi, you've got loads of English players, Loftus-Cheek, at Chelsea, and I think we've been saying for years they're not getting the opportunities, and now this is a great opportunity for them to actually play in the Champions League, and they're going to grow as players for Chelsea, but it's good for the country as well, it's good for the national team.
Yeah, Gareth Southgate will be pleased, I'm sure. Ajax as well, not the team they were last year. They've lost their two best players, arguably, in Frankie de Jong and De Ligt as well. So not quite the team who reached the semi-finals last season.
No, it will be fascinating to see how they do this season. Of course, they've lost a couple of the best players, but you'd think the blueprint is still there for them to play in the same type of formation, the same way. OK, they'll have one or two players that have come into the side, but it will be interesting to see how they do. They could take the competition by storm again, but I think Chelsea probably will have enough. I think it'll be disappointing if they don't qualify. I know you say that they're in transition and things like that, but they are Chelsea at the end of the day. They did come forth and won the Europa League. So I still think they'll be the favourites to win this group.
And Frank's had success in Europe as a player. He's going to want it as a manager as well.
He's a winner. It's as simple as that. And he'll set out to win the competition. And he'll also want some good experience for his younger players as well. So, yeah, I agree. Frank's going to want to go all the way.
Well, thank you all very much, Jermaine, Glenn and Michael. We look forward till it all gets underway on the 17th and 18th of September. The group stage draw is complete. And I think all the English sides are fairly happy. We can't wait till it all kicks off then. We'll see you then.
This programme was brought to you by Hotels.com and Gazprom, UEFA Champions League.